We are going to celebrate the all-women spacewalk. It's so exciting. I think we were just talking before the podcast for people that are maybe not quite as young. I posted on Facebook, and then I was kind of reiterating that when I was in kindergarten, I was so excited to learn about Sally Ride, who at the time was like one of the only women to be an astronaut, that I made a book about her, and I illustrated it, and I put her picture on the cover. Like, I went all out because I was so inspired, and I just thought, I can do anything. If you know, a woman can go to space and be an astronaut, I could do anything. And it just blew my mind because this was still the 80s, and there wasn't as much representation in anything cool. Yeah. So that was the first time I really remember thinking like, wow, okay, this is big. Like, this is a big deal. And I was really obsessed. And
I was big into, this is no surprise to anybody. So
after your journey to
NASA.
So
went to NASA. That was really cool. But, so as a kid, one of my favorite movies was Space Camp. And so because
Tom Skerritt.
I know, I love Tom Skerritt. And so I absolutely adored the movie. And one of the nerd chicks in that movie was like really sort of punky, and like she had all the cool hair and all the bangle bracelets or whatever. And like she chewed her gum so that it popped.
Yeah.
And she got a 1600 on her SATs. And so because I saw that, and I was like, ooh, 1600, that's a lot. So I decided to start reading the encyclopedia on space.
Oh, I absolutely did that.
So I started from the beginning. I did not get all the way through. Those are a lot of big words.
I loved encyclopedias. I loved the way they smelled even.
Take it out of the... Like, it usually had a bookshelf just for the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Very fancy.
Pull it out, open it up. All the information is right here. That was our internet.
The pages were so glossy.
And sometimes on the side it was gold flecked. Yeah. So anyway, very excited about the all-female astronaut gang going on up there. My understanding is that they're... So as we're recording this...
We're watching them do something.
Yes. They're moving around very slowly. Are you playing footsies with me?
I can if you want, if it'll help ratings. We're
not that kind of podcast.
Will it get us sponsors?
Hold on. And we're back.
Okay. So that's not the kind of podcast that we do. However,
we did show that shirt also. It's been a day.
There are no rules.
That's true. I have ticklish feet. That's no, I was getting punchy.
Okay. I don't want to get punched.
So as we're recording this, we are watching the live feed of the gals flipping around in space. I think my understanding is that they are actually like exchanging a battery or something like that.
I can't tell. It's very dark in space. They should turn on the lights.
Any requirements for the methane?
That's great.
By the terms is going in because
Just proof that we're actually listening and watching.
Yeah.
they're not good.
I'll turn it down because it just keeps kind of going in. The sound just keeps going in and out. But
So-
even the fact that we can see them doing anything, even though I don't know what it is still
I don't even
amazing.
care.
Like, can you even imagine when we were kids? Like, I know that people that were alive for the moon landing, they saw something on TV and that was really big. But can you imagine just even the concept of live streaming for one?
Right.
But live streaming a group of people doing something in real time on the internet, on demand, like on your
And
phone.
it's in space. There's not like really a time delay or anything that I know of. Like, we don't have the 12-minute time delay anymore.
The future is amazing.
That's true. I don't know.
No.
I have no idea. However, and like we get to talk to the astronauts. Like, the Canadian guy is one of my favorite guys. I can't think of his name, but the Canadian astronaut. He's very nice because he's Canadian. But also, I just want to give like for me, my childhood not only was Sally Ride, but also Krista McAuliffe. So when the Challenger exploded, I was in school. We were watching this live, and that was like devastating.
Yeah.
I mean, as it should be. It was that was a horrible tragedy, but that was a big deal in my childhood, and especially for me again. I mean, I've always loved space. It's been someplace that I want to go. I want to, you know, I would love to go to Mars and do all that stuff. So this is just really exciting that that they're going through with this with all women. And I think that one of the things, like I'll be honest, like it was really disappointing though watching the YouTube feed earlier today. I was watching just the one that was posted by NASA, and on the right side,
the comments
were all these stupid comments, because like you can do live comments and stuff, and there's those jackasses doing like talking about like flat Earth and not believing that this is real.
Oh, those dummies.
But then also like the assholes that are making like lesbian jokes and all this stuff. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, so it just like it bummed me out because I'm just trying to enjoy this, and then off the side in my peripheral vision is all these shitty comments.
Can't we have anything nice? Like, just let us go to space and call it a day.
Right? Exactly.
Like, you should have been like, have any of you been to space?
Right. Right. Yeah.
No, because it's fake. Right?
Yeah, there is that.
Well, the other theory that I've seen is that some of them believe that we're in like a dome.
Oh, yeah, like Truman Show?
Or, like it's like flat and then there's a dome over it, like Truman Show. Or
Because that's how physics works. It makes things flat with a dome, unless it's like a water droplet on a penny.
Where's the water in the ocean? Yeah, they had like a whole theory for it. I saw it on a sticker propaganda that's been going around.
I only believe in half of science. Like,
right. I saw I don't remember what it was. Michelle Wolf, the comedian, she was saying something about like in high school or in school, if you didn't believe science, then that means you fail. Right. I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
So we got a lot of people failing science real hard.
Well, among other things, is my opinion on that.
Making a thing out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just really cool and exciting, and they're still doing something.
I don't know how long it's supposed to last, but
it's been going for a long time.
I mean, my nerd antennae are just like really super excited about this whole thing.
Yeah.
I'd love to just sit and watch it all day, but I can't.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Christina and what's her name? Jessica or Jennifer? Jessica?
I don't know.
And then there's a Stephanie.
Names of
And I'm not really sure who Stephanie is. I think she's on board. And Christina and Jessica are
On it.
thanks. Doing the outside stuff. So yeah. Good job, astronauts. I am trying my best to not call them the lady astronauts or the female astronauts, because it's like the same thing we talked about with the soccer team. Why do we have to call them the women's soccer team?
I know.
And the men are just called the soccer team.
Right.
Right? So these are just astronauts.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the gender.
But it is really exciting.
It is super exciting. Yes.
It's like, it's not even, I mean, that's, at this point, just...
First Google, Spacewalk woman is what comes up.
Oh, good Lord.
I'm a spacewalk.
I'm a spacewalk woman. Yes. I would like to be a spacewalk woman.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Like, I wonder if I would vomit immediately.
Best not, because it's trapped inside of you. Then it's in your face.
I'd just be panicking the whole time, like, don't throw up, don't throw up, don't throw up, don't throw up.
Astronauts Christina Koch and Jessica Meir
Okay.
carried out history's first all-female spacewalk Friday, floating outside the ISS and successfully installing a 230-pound replacement
So they've
battery
done it.
charger
Battery
in the
charger.
lab's solar power system.
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay, so it goes on to say, this is CBSNews.com, the historic excursion, bear with me, was carried out in a blaze of pubic interest that rose all the way to the White House.
Can it not be pubic and be public?
It says...
Shut the front.
Pubic interest.
Oh.
CBS News.
Oh,
Please,
no.
print screen.
And that is quite literally what it has been. Pubic interest.
Oh my god. Okay, that's funny. That's terrible, but that's really funny.
I screenshotted it.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
This will be airing later, but we're experiencing this all in real time.
Okay.
Who doesn't love pubic interest?
I mean, again, I didn't think it was that kind of podcast, but I guess this is what we're doing
that story. Oh my god. They're like, don't say pubic. Don't say pubic. Don't say pubic.
Pubic interest. Okay, editors?
Anyway.
Okay. All right. So
Congratulations.
thank you to Christina and Jessica, and I think there's a Stephanie. We salute you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, especially our childhood selves. Like, I got
Oh my God.
I got somewhat tearful about it last night, just thinking about just what it means in terms of the difference between me being 5 and me being, like 25.
There's only a 20-year difference in all of this. It's just amazing what's happened in 20 years.
Yeah. I'm a baby.
Yes.
So that's that. We love trailblazers of all the kinds.
So we have a next interesting topic. So we're going to need to talk to Lauren about a tragedy that happened recently. I'm very sad for her. So what happened, Lauren?
Okay, so I'm not gonna blame my husband, but
I think
about
we're
to
getting
blame
blamed.
my husband. He left my car unlocked, which I'm sure he had a very good reason for. And
Not that he had a traumatic brain injury or anything.
he did that stuff before.
Okay.
He doesn't like to lock the car because he thinks that if the car's locked, then people will break the window, and then that'll be another thing. Well, we've lived in our house for 6 years. No one's busted a window yet. But I digress. Someone opened the door of my car, my unlocked car, and they went in and they stole my most favorite denim jacket with all my favorite pins, including Ned Flanders and ski gear from the episode where he says, "It feels like I'm wearing nothing at all." And it's my favorite pin in the world. It was a gift. I don't know who sent it to me. It was a mystery gift that was sent from somebody.
That makes it even more special.
Yeah, I still don't know who sent it to me. It's like a few years old. So they stole that, and they stole 3 pairs of sunglasses that were all from Target and broken as well. So that was all they stole, and it was really sad. And I grieved the loss of this jacket because it was like one of my most expensive and nicest things, and it had my pins on it, my pins that I collected. And I was sad, and I kept bringing it up.
Well, but I mean,
every few hours for at least 3 days.
I think though that especially a denim jacket.
You don't just
There's
buy
a
one every
specialness.
season. Yeah.
No, because it's just like getting like your favorite. Well, I gotta admit, I haven't worn jeans for 20 years, but denim, like it fits, it molds to your body.
Yeah.
Like it gets a little wet and sweaty and all this stuff, and then you do so it's shaped to you.
Yeah.
So it literally is fitting your body, and you've done all the work to make it yours.
And I'm little, so it's a little jacket.
It's a very personal thing for somebody
Yeah.
to take a denim jacket.
Yeah. I was like, and it's like one of the nicer things I have. It's like, I don't own anything Calvin Klein, but I had a Calvin Klein denim jacket for some reason.
And it made you feel good to wear it.
Yeah, like I feel tough. I feel tough and cool, and I got my
Right.
Flanders pin on my jacket. But watchers and listeners, there's a plot twist. My husband and I were going on a walk just yesterday, and I saw what looked like denim in a pile of leaves 4 houses down from our house, and I ran to it because I have missing denim in my life, and it was my jacket.
What?
It was my jacket.
This is a surprise thing. She literally didn't tell me that. This whole time I thought this was going to be a very sad story.
Yeah, so we found it, and I started screaming, and I almost cried in the middle of the street. So whoever stole it was like, not this one, and they threw it in a pile of leaves. So.
And were the sunglasses anywhere?
No.
Oh.
I don't really care about those
No.
because I wear glasses and then I have a pair of prescription sunglasses. So I can only wear my sunglasses if I have contacts in, which I haven't been wearing. But yeah, so I felt like so redeemed in that moment. I was like, good things can happen.
Oh my God.
Like it just impacted me on this really deep and profound level of like, first, nothing in life is permanent, but like even if something goes away, like it can come back.
You know what's funny though? Okay, so when you told me about your jacket being stolen, there was something else that happened to you at the same time, and like the last line that you said, you're like, "What's happening?"
Oh, I got it. Oh, there's another piece of the story. I got a ticket, which I
Yeah.
have not had a ticket. I had one ticket from like, I don't know, a long time ago because I turned right on red somewhere in Grandview because I thought you could and you couldn't, and Grandview, they're just waiting to get you. Like
But I think you can make a U-turn in Grandview, so whatever.
I don't know. They were bored and they gave me a ticket. So that was my only other ticket. But I got this ticket because the guy said that I merged into a lane without signaling, which I don't have any evidence for or against. Like it was one of those lanes where it's 2 lanes and then it becomes 1 lane. So I don't know. Maybe
You don't have to have a blinker on to go into a lane that's going away.
I don't know, but
What?
he pulled me over and he was...
What else are you gonna do? If the lane ends, you have no choice but to merge.
I don't know, but maybe it was before it ended. I don't know. I have no evidence for or against it to fight it, but he was like, I'm very sorry to pull you over, man.
No, you're not. If you were sorry, then you wouldn't do it.
You're not going to want to hear this, but I'm about to cite you.
Oh, an
And it's Friday, and I still haven't actually been cited. Like, there's no record of me in the Franklin County Municipal Court website, so I might also not have a ticket. Like, I had these back-to-back things happen, and then everything's just, like, working itself out.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, if it's just... the universe is pushing me in some kind of direction where good things happen to me. I don't know, but it was just like those 2 things, like within the same 24 hours, just were too much. And then they all turned out to be fine.
Well, one
The
thing.
ticket might still happen, but it's
Well,
Friday and I got it on
Let's
Monday.
not talk about it on something that
Yeah.
All
goes out
the
to
cops
the
don't
entire
listen to
world.
this.
Right.
We do have a large contingent of cops that watch.
Yeah.
But possibly,
85%.
yes, possibly the lesson here is talking about non-attachment.
Yeah.
In I think the saying is that nothing is permanent. The positive's not permanent. Neither is the negative permanent.
No.
You know, so
yeah.
don't cling to anything, the positive or the negative.
Because anything can happen, good or bad, to shift it. And even holding on to something, you know, that's positive, if you hold on to that idea of it, you might even not experience other things in life.
Oh, we're going to talk about the Rebel of the Week?
Yeah, let's do that. So I decided...
Wait, we need our theme song.
We still don't have one. I downloaded this app that is a podcast editor because I was considering doing my own podcast about something mental health related. I don't know if I will or not, but it had all these sound effects on
Goat
it.
sounds.
And music, and you could put music in it, and I was like, yeah, goat sounds were one of the things. So I was like getting ideas for songs, but didn't come up with one.
We need you guys to actually make theme song for us.
Yeah, it's probably easy. If you're like under 25, you probably could do it in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, you have like an app and you just make it.
Kids and their apps and their internets and Insta whats.
Insta-whats, their Insta faces.
Speaking of Insta faces, the Rebel of the Week is Will Wheaton, who, if you are a nerd like we are and watch Star Trek, you will know is Wesley Crusher, and everybody wants him to shut up because he's a big dumb baby. But as a human being named Will Wheaton, he is a delightful man, and he has been very open and very vocal about mental health advocacy lately. So within the last few weeks, he was posting lots of statistics on PTSD and trauma and kind of demystifying that and putting resources out for people. And then also talking about his own experiences with anxiety and depression, which I think for somebody in the public eye in that way that we kind of like watched grow up is a really interesting thing because we didn't have social media when he was little baby Wesley. So now we can hear his stories about how he was feeling at the time. And it's just really nice. It's nice to hear somebody be real and open and honest. And it also, I think, absolutely helps other people too to read things like that, because I think people get weird about celebrities speaking out about things because they're like, just stick to acting. You don't need to be an advocate for anything. But the thing is, if you're already in the public eye and you can have a positive impact on somebody, it's a great platform. So for him to be somebody that was kind of in the public eye, so Star Trek, and then I didn't really watch The Big Bang Theory, but he's part of that, I guess.
Well, I also know him from Stand By Me.
Yeah, lots of different things over the years throughout his life. I think he's like 37 or something like that, somewhere in there. He's close to, no, he's not close to my age. I'm only 25. Continuity matters. But that's really, I think, a really great way to use your celebrity, whatever kind of celebrity that might be, to give other people some kind of hope that there is treatment out there, or things that work, or things that are maybe more normal than you realized. So depression and anxiety are super normal, but people that experience them tend to feel pretty alone and pretty isolated, as though no one else is experiencing that. So just by describing symptoms that you've had in that kind of, platform is huge.
Well, so we had October 10th was World Mental Health Awareness Day. So I think it was like 150 countries or something like that did something.
Yeah.
And on that day, a lot of celebrities actually did really cool things. There was a video of Prince Harry, and his name just fell out of my head. The British singer who was on Game of Thrones because help me.
That's
Ed Sheeran.
Yes. So Ed Sheeran and Prince Harry did a really cool video, a little thing, and so on October 10th, a lot of celebrities took that time to speak out about mental health awareness, making it more normal. Yeah, we're trying to normalize things and talk about it because, there truly is no difference. This is one of my biggest soapbox topics, because, with my own mom and all of that, she would have gotten help. She could have gotten help if she came from a generation that actually talked about stuff.
Yeah, I think about things like that.
And so, I read some statistic that it's like 1 in 5 people have some form of mental illness. And I would argue that it's got to be more than that, because
that's reported.
Right, exactly. Because literally every single person in my life, every person that is close to me that matters, has some form of clinical diagnosis of mental health.
Same.
Yeah, so it's so important, I think, for celebrities to take the opportunity to talk about these things. And I think that it's not fair to say that, they're wealthy. What do they possibly have to be upset?
That's the worst excuse.
And that's bullshit, because number one, also stepping out and saying, like, I experience these things. Like after a show, I go off the stage and vomit.
Despite having money.
Yeah. And Barbara
success.
Streisand has for the longest time, she's always talked about the fact that she has stage fright. And so it's putting a risk. They're risking their public image. But that's the thing, is that the more people talk about it, the more you realize, like, you're not alone. You're not the only one. And there is no difference between saying, I'm bipolar, and saying that I've got a broken leg.
Right.
You say that something's wrong, you go to the doctor, you get the therapy that you need.
Yeah.
Whether it's the therapy of physical therapy or sitting down with a therapist, there is no difference.
Well, and I, at this point, am like a broken record because I like to talk about this. So the World Health Organization, pretty much every time they do the numbers, still consistently finds that the number one cause of disability for the entire world that we live in is depression. It's nothing, it's not a physical disability. That's the number one cause of disability, is something that is mental health related. And I think something like 25%, and people get all, weird about this, but something like 20% of Americans have some form of anxiety disorder at this point. And some people will say, oh, it's just because of technology, or it's because of this, or because of that. It's like, no, it's because we have diagnostic tools.
Yeah, now we know. Now there's a name to put to these things.
Right.
It's not, none of this stuff is new, because there have been things that have happened in life. There have been genetics.
Yeah.
Forever, literally. And so, the fact that we have the tools to know that these things exist and that we're willing to call them something, we're no longer hysterical women.
Right. Well, like anxiety disorder, like generalized anxiety disorder as a diagnosis has only been around for 30 some years. So that's not a super long time. So think of all of the people that had that were maybe just suffering needlessly.
Yeah, suffering silently, thinking that I'm the only one that has that this is happening to.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you're the only one, then you're not going to talk about it, because you don't want people to think that you're weird or different,
or that you're going to have to
broken.
Or that you're going to be locked up away somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that from God, if anybody that is listening or watching saw Return to Oz,
yeah,
it was the beginning terrified me, because Dorothy returns from Oz, but now she's Fairuza Balk. She's not she's not Judy Garland.
She's the craft.
Yes. Now she's Fairuza Balk, who was delightful in the 90s. She's probably still delightful. I don't know what she's doing. We'll have to check that out. But she returns and nobody believes her story, so they send her to an institution, because they just institutionalized everybody until sometime in the 80s.
Yep. My mom was institutionalized.
Yeah, it's just like if they don't understand it, they just lock you up. So she was locked up, and they were getting ready to do electroconvulsive therapy on her because they didn't believe her. And I saw that as a kid, and as a kid I had really bad anxiety, and seeing that made me think, I cannot tell anybody about what's going on up here, because
that'll happen.
Dorothy had to go to the hospital and have her brain zapped, which they didn't zap it because they came and got her before. But spoiler alert from 1985 or something like that.
Yeah, shame on you.
But so that was the kind of messaging we were getting even in the 80s, that if you have any kind of anything going on mentally, that you're going to be, and people were locked up against their will. Not really treated. God, don't look up the information on things like that, the institutionalization of people with any kind of mental illness, because they were literally like,
well, one of my favorite movies
them.
is Girl Interrupted. And that movie
that was a great book.
That's close to me, because my mom actually couldn't watch the movie because it was just like her experience.
I'm sure she was really hard. Yeah.
And so I love the movie, but at the same time it breaks my heart to watch it.
Well, just as an FYI aside, but still on topic, Harding at least has created a different structure to their hospitalization system. So it used to be in lots of psychiatric inpatient facilities, you would be just on a floor in a room with somebody. So somebody might be coming in with intense, severe clinical depression, and they're in a room with somebody who's actively psychotic or actively delusional. So they're just being traumatized over and over and over.
Traumatizing each other.
Yeah, so they're traumatizing each other. So what they've actually done is they've created different floors and different sections for mood disorders. So your bipolar, your depression, your stuff like that is going to be separate from your, delusional psychotic disorders. So
right.
There have been changes to make even the idea of hospitalization less scary, because honestly, I don't know, being somebody that works with people that are going through mental illnesses of a variety, I see a lot of people that are like, yeah, I've been hospitalized before. So to me, I'm like, oh, people go to the hospital for mental health and they go to the hospital for physical health. So to me, that's not a big deal. But I think even normalizing things like that's something that's a resource that's available too. I think
Yeah.
if we could
It's
even
different. You know,
Yeah.
they're not asylums anymore.
I know. I think that it would be nice to kind of destigmatize some of that too, because I think that's usually the number one fear if somebody's experienced something really intense. Is like the hospital is like the biggest fear. It's like
It
it
doesn't
might
have
just
to be
be
anymore.
no, it might just be that somebody gets you on medications that regulate you, and you might get connected with a therapist. Like it's
Right.
really just resources at this
And,
point.
yeah, I mean, and you're also like building a community, like
Yeah.
around other people that
Yeah,
are similar to you.
It's an attempt to get you back on track. Just like if you
Yeah.
broke your leg and you had to be hospitalized to have a surgery, they're going to do physical therapy so that you
Yep.
can get back and walking around again. Same deal.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So kudos to Will Wheaton
yeah.
for talking about it. I mean,
And not
it's-
just on the mental health day either, just in general.
Just
It's
all- yeah.
Just what he does.
yeah.
All right. So we also do not have a song about our book of the week. Books. Oh, check them out. Read them. That was a real commercial, though.
That was terrible.
I think that like the California Raisins were in it or something. Which I've never heard of because I'm very young. But
Yes.
so the book that I've been reading, I hesitate to say that I recommend it. I think I recommend it. So I only have a couple more chapters in it, so I can't spoil it for you. Vox, by Christina Dolcher. So I picked this up because my most favorite genre of book is sci-fi, dystopian future.
So uplifting.
Yeah, super uplifting. So this book very much feels like the author read Handmaid's Tale and was like, I'm gonna take this a step further. So it's a future.
I'm gonna make it worse.
Yeah, really. So it's in the not really future. It's basically just like an alternate reality, essentially, because it's about now-ish, and women are only allowed to speak 100 words per day, and they have little...
That's less than Twitter.
I know! They have little...
Oh no, that's characters. I'm sorry. No,
That's like 138 or something. But yeah, they have these counters on their wrists, and if they go over 100, it zaps them. And each time they get zapped, it gets worse. But so things are really bad in this not really distant future. Things are real rough for women, but the main character was a neuroscientist, because women can't be scientists in this setting. And she is asked to come on board and create a cure for aphasia, which all of this is totally random, but it's because the president's brother was in a skiing accident. He got a traumatic brain injury. Now he has aphasia, and because it's on the left posterior hemisphere, so she's allowed to have the counter taken off, and she's trying to find this cure, but we don't know if she's actually gonna live or
You'll
not.
have to read it.
So it's just a super weird but entertaining book. So it's the kind of book where I started reading it and I was like, this is silly, and then I couldn't stop reading it. At one point they actually subtly reference Handmaid's Tale, because it's talking about her in college and about how her friend wanted her to read this fiction novel about, the future in which there are very severe rules and restrictions on women. I was like, come on, that's a little bit on the nose, don't you think? But it is...
I can't handle these stories. I gotta be honest.
I'm just
It's
like...
just so
No,
close.
I'm with you. I love them.
I
love
think
them.
that it's like why people read romance novels, maybe, like bad, trashy romance novels. They're like, I know this isn't quality, entertainment. I know this isn't making me smarter, but that's why I keep reading it, because
Well,
I
that's fun.
burnt
Fun
myself
yeah.
out. I have burnt myself out on nonfiction, self-help, anything about spirituality or mental health or those things. So this has actually been weirdly therapeutic to read this book that's it has really good reviews. So maybe I'm just I don't know.
Maybe you just need to lighten up.
I'm
a
just
little bit.
picky. I just need more from my dystopian futures where women aren't allowed to talk.
God.
Well, in Handmaid's Tale, they don't even have a counter. They can just talk. I mean, they might get
Yeah, at least they can talk.
they might get their fingers chopped off, and
Well,
you
unless you're
know.
in Capital, spoiler alert.
Yeah, so there's a lot of other things. Yeah, I'm not going to say one's better than the other. But yeah, so it's a book I'm reading. You might read it, you might not read it. If you like dystopian sci-fi about things that could actually happen and you want to depress yourself while you're reading it, check it out.
She's so good at reviewing books.
I know, I should really be paid for this. Yeah, so it even says on the back, Vanity Fair said, sure to beg comparisons to Margaret Atwood's dystopian The Handmaid's Tale. It highlights the urgency of movements like Me Too, but also of the basic importance of language.
And being able to use it.
Yeah, so interestingly, this is not a plot twist, but a twist to the book, is that it's written by somebody that has a doctorate in theoretical linguistics. So she took her...
That's interesting.
It sounds like she was somebody that was like, I live in this world of science, and what if this thing happened? And she created a novel. So maybe not somebody that was specifically a novelist by trade, though she has other books. I think that part was interesting because she deals with aphasia and dialect and all these other things in the book. So I don't know. Read it. Don't read it.
Whatevs.
I'm reading it. I'm almost done. Bad things have happened throughout the whole thing.
Great.
So maybe something good will happen.
Maybe. Because that always happens in dystopian stories.
Yeah, usually with dystopian stories, either everybody dies and it ends horribly, or like one person gets out.
And is alone, like in the
Yeah, and then you
vast
see them.
wasteland
Yeah,
of-
you see them a year later, and they're just like on their own, scrounging for food, but at least they got out. It's like, so that it could end like that, or everybody will die. I don't know.
Great. And on that note, hope this helped your mental health.
Yeah. Demystifying some stuff. Drink plenty of water. Take your meds if you need meds. Set a timer on your phone if you have trouble remembering to take your meds, because you have to take them every day.
Yeah.
So that's your mental health tip. Meds work better if you take them every day.
It's true. It's true.
But that's hard for some people, so set a timer.
Okay. Alrighty. Till next time.
Keep the rebellion
Keep the
alive.
rebellion alive.
I'm going to keep rolling because I want to tell you about the next book I'm reading and I want to capture your reaction
Okay.
on screen. So the next book, I can't remember if I told you about it. It's called The Chain. That's by Adrian McKinty. And I'm just going to read you the book description.
Okay, let's do this.
You just dropped your child off at the bus stop. A panicked stranger calls your phone. Your child has been kidnapped, and the stranger explains that their child has also been kidnapped by a completely different stranger. The only way to get your child back is to kidnap another child within 24 hours. Your child will be released only when the next victim's parents kidnap yet another child. And most importantly, the stranger explains, if you don't kidnap a child, or if the next parents don't kidnap a child, your child will be murdered. You are now part of the chain.
That's like an episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah. That's the next book I'm reading.
Dude, okay.
I'm gonna read it too.
If you ever need a hug.
Apparently this author was like, he was destitute, he wasn't doing well, he lost his job, and then he went to his editor, he pitched this idea, and his editor said, here's $10,000, go write this book.
Go,
Wow.
go, or I'll murder your child.
Yeah. And it's, I haven't read it yet, but my friend Dan recommended it very highly. He said it's
Wow.
awesome. So anyway, creepiest. Stephen King wrote the blurb on the front of the book. It says, this
That's-
book is Jaws for parents.